Hello there guys. Today I'm introducing you to a game that goes by the name of Anodyne. It's a top-down adventure game that jumps right out as something heavily inspired by earlier Zelda games. You play through a variety of areas as a hero named Young. The game is made by a small team of 2 students, and it seems like a lot of work has been put into this game. As of now, I have put in a couple hours of the game. What you'll see on your screen will be up to and including the first dungeon. So far, I've been having a blast. There is the standard dungeon crawling fare and some simple combat going on with your handy broom, and then some puzzling, of course. So far, the puzzles are pretty much at my level. Place a couple of things where they need to be placed, get some keys, and unlock some doors. I'm afraid they'll start getting actually pretty hard from here and leave me horribly stumped, but I haven't run into much frustration so far, which is, for me personally, a positive, even though it might be a negative for some people. While combat and such seems very Zelda-like, at least to start with, I wouldn't call it a Zelda clone by any means. It has a lot of uniqueness to it, and a different setting, which is kind of a mix of modern stuff and traditional fantasy stuff. It's kind of interesting how it seems to be how it is canonically, is that this is all kind of part of your main character's dream. So it is kind of a meshing together of a whole bunch of different themes, and every different area has its own uniqueness to it and its own quirks and has some interesting and often unsettling stuff going on. So it kind of has some elements of exploring the mind and exploring insecurities and fears and stuff, which is pretty cool. But there's also just some pretty crazy stuff and some funny stuff, things that you might see in a dream. And those kind of things have me constantly just grinning in this game. I have a smile on my face half the time, and I'm really loving the experience. Now, the systems in the game work really smoothly. By that I mean especially things like death and the transitions between rooms. But also animation quality and such is really good, although the pixelated graphics are here in full. They are pretty justified though in this case, partially because of the tribute to some early games that were pixelated, and also because the pixel art is good. Now, I know people are saying they're tired of pixel art in games. I see that all the time. I see that as posts, I see people saying it, but for me personally, it's only ever a problem when the pixel art isn't very good. When it's done well, it is a-okay, it is awesome, and in this case, well, that is the case. Now, the music is also really good, as it should be in a game like this, and the dialogue is really well written, as I've kind of already mentioned, and it's really funny on occasion. Overall, so far, it is a really fun game that any Zelda fan will probably love, and that loads of other people will also enjoy, as the game does separate itself from Zelda for sure. Even in terms of gameplay, you can jump eventually. There's platforming sections. It is very different. The game gets even better as it goes forward, and I fully encourage you to go check it out. You can grab it for a steal of a price, and I'll link to that below, although I'd also like to note the little stunt they have pulled with the whole Pirate Bay thing. If you haven't heard of this, basically the developers of this game went on Pirate Bay and such and said it's okay to pirate our game, go ahead, which is something that also the dev of Hotline Miami did. Hell, right now there is an advertisement for it on the front page of the Pirate Bay. Now, this just seems pretty awesome of them, and I am sure they will get more sales than they would have otherwise from this move. I'm not saying that every developer, EA, should go and encourage piracy, but for a small team like this, it's just a win-win situation, and I do applaud them for doing this kind of thing, and I'm sure we'll see more and more of this kind of thing in the future. Now that is about all for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. For more variety gaming content, you can subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I've been Maple Dungeons, and I will see you next time.